Hey everybody, you're tuned in to 91.8 The Fan, and you're listening to Kana's Corner. I have a very special guest today. Right here, right now, is Troy Baker. If you don't know who he is, shame on you. But on the plus side, another Final Fantasy guest. So, you want to stay tuned, and thank you very much for coming on to the show. Let's get started. You're basically, from what I know, the main male character, is that correct?
That's true. I mean, it's, within the RPG, you've got several different characters that you can play as and follow the story. But the two main storylines are, of course, Lightning, which is one thing I love about Final Fantasy is that's got this really, really kick-ass heroine. So you've got Lightning and everything that is involved with her story arc, and then you have me, who plays Snow, he's driven mainly by his love for his girl, Sarah, and how that plays into the story. And it's all about how these people get suddenly marked as the Lassie, which are basically considered the outcast of society, and what that does to them and how it plays into the story. It's really freaking cool.
It sounds really cool. And now I'm not sure if you're a big geek or anything, but many of the voice actors we do interview are. And was it weird trying to, try out for a Final Fantasy game since they've been around for so long?
First of all, I am a badge-wearing, jacket-owning nerd. I am a die-hard gamer, and I go back to the original Final Fantasy, and I've played 7, and I've played 10, so this is, when they were doing an interview today, Chris Hardwick from G4 is actually the MC for the event, and he said, so, well, how was your reaction? What was your reaction like when you found out that you were going to play Snow in Final Fantasy? And I said, I fanboyed out. I mean, I definitely squealed, just because this is the longest running RPG video game franchise ever. For over 20 years, they've been telling these different stories. And the thing that's really interesting about Final Fantasy is that each game is standalone. You don't have to know what happened in the other 12 installments. It's just another story that takes place in this world, and it makes it really unique. So when I found out that I was even going to be in the game, I freaked out. And when I found out that Snow was the guy that I was playing, I wet myself. So it was an interesting experience.
Well, no, it's so cool that you're into the series and whatnot. I am wondering, though, do you think this Final Fantasy, out of many of the other ones, is very dramatic and will get the players involved?
More so than ever. I mean, what we're saying, the kind of the moniker for this game is Lucky Number 13. And, I mean, it's already sold, over 2 million copies in Japan, and we're anticipating a higher release here in the States because it's got such a built-in following. And the thing about this, I mean, I don't know if you saw Leona Lewis' first song, My Hands, which was, it's the theme song, for 13. They released a trailer, which was basically a music video, an FMV for the game. And it's incredibly dramatic. I mean, the story between, Snow and Sarah is such an impactful love story. And all of the different characters, what they go through, and going from the young character Hope to Lightning and Neil and Saz. I mean, you've got a lot of drama that's happening in this, and so it's full of kick-ass gameplay, but at the same time, for diehard RPGers that love a good dramatic story, this is going to blow any expectation they have.
Well, I'm sure that'll excite our fans. We're giving away a few copies of Final Fantasy 13, so they'll definitely enjoy hearing that. Well, we'll be right back. Make sure to stay tuned to your favorite station, 91.8 The Fan. Everything you want and nothing you don't. 91.8thefan.com. Have you logged on today?
Who, me? No. No?
iStock's daily news show, video reviews, articles, forums, and an anime directory. Don't get left behind. Log in today. Only on
918thefan.com?
918thefan.com.
All right, 918thefan.com.
Hey everybody, I'm back with Troy Baker, and I have a lot more questions for him, so let's get the ball rolling. And now I'm curious exactly with Final Fantasy 13, did you guys get to record together at all, or meet each other, or were you all separate?
Video games are my bread and butter, and I do a lot of them. And one thing that is kind of a lot of times a downside to it is that you don't get the chance to work with the cast. And I didn't even meet the rest of the cast until we had a wrap party once we had done our final recording session. And it's strange to me how much each of the characters resemble the voice actors or vice versa. And it was great, and we instantly had a rapport because we felt like we knew each other. Jack Fletcher, who is the director for the voice sessions, is an amazing director, and not enough credit can go to him because the script was there, the story was there, the characters were incredibly fleshed out. Well, what he allowed us to do with not only our dialogue, but also just with our characters, really make it our own, really ingratiated ourselves to the characters. I mean, you have 6 to 8 months to record and work on a single character. You really get to know them. And our own personalities got to be kind of infused with their own. So hopefully with the way that, you look at Uncharted, which, obviously won Game of the Year last year, and everyone's calling it now, they want to do it the Naughty Dog way, which is to mocap the actors and get the dialogue, when they're recording, or as we say, on the day. I think that's going to be a new trend that we see, but obviously not every game can do that. But I really wish that you could, because it's a totally different experience when you're able to actually play off of the other actors.
Oh, definitely. And with Final Fantasy 13, you said you worked on it for 6 to 8 months. With that specifically, do you think Square Enix took a ton of care, like more care than, say, other video games you've worked on?
With any AAA title, you got, everyone has a different approach. Ubisoft has a certain way they want to do it. Square Enix has a certain way they want to do it. THQ and Activision, they all have their different approaches to it. But definitely with Final Fantasy, I mean, that's Square Enix's baby. They have a lot of other titles, but this is definitely their flagship title. And there was a lot of care that went into it. And we, as actors, had a lot to respect. We wanted to honor the original Japanese. We wanted to honor the legacy of the franchise. So we kind of knew going in what we had to do, and that we had a part to play in telling the story. But you can definitely see, I mean, the graphics in this game are mind-blowing. And the story is so incredibly dense. You can tell that all the people that were involved in this, everything from the lighting guy to the level designers to the writers to the animators, this was an act of love for them and passion, and it really comes through in the game.
I have to wonder, were you disappointed that you had to, keep shush about it for so long?
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? I was bursting out of my skin to tell people. The Kanji, who is the property or the product manager for Square Enix, was gracious enough back in E3. He came over to me and he gave me a silver pendant that is the mark of the lessee, and they actually put it on a necklace. And he gave it to me. He kind of did like a shh, don't tell anyone. And I'm never going to take this off. And I've worn it every day since. I get so many comments on this necklace. They're like, oh my God, where did you get that? What is that from? And I've not been able to tell anybody. And today is the first day I felt like I was like just got baptized. I can like shout it from the rooftop and tell people this is me. And to be, especially being here in San Francisco, they're throwing an amazing launch. And to be able to be on stage with these people and hang out with the fans and see their reactions, because it's the first time they're showing gameplay. They've got PlayStation set up and Xbox set up, and they're full constantly in lines of people just waiting to see the game. So for me to be able to look over their shoulder, and actually see them playing and see their reactions is well worth the payoff and not being able to say anything for so long.
That sounds so neat. I know in comparison you were in Modern Warfare 2, so
yes.
Can you even compare the two launches together? I mean, would one blow the other away?
They were two totally separate events. I mean, the Modern Warfare 2 premiere was, we had it in Las Vegas. It was at the House of Blues, and it was definitely a Vegas party. And the difference between those two is that with this, it almost feels like a Hollywood premiere. red carpet set up, and there's a lot of press that's here, and we're doing interviews just stacked back and forth all day long. It's like a Hollywood junket. With Modern Warfare, it was more of like we've done a great job making a great game. We're finally done. We know the game's going to do well. Let's just kick back and party together. So it was really kind of two different approaches, and obviously one being in Vegas and one being in San Francisco, you instantly have a little bit of a difference there.
Oh, definitely. You always have to party in Vegas. That's my hometown. So.
Oh yeah.
But now I'm wondering, is there anything else you want our listeners to know about concerning Final Fantasy 13 or anything that you have coming up in the future?
Well, I mean, the cool thing is that I want everybody to play the game eyes wide open and with no expectations. And honestly, anything that I could tell them about the game doesn't do it justice. You literally have to sit down and prepare to spend several hours playing the game, because that's one thing that they did was they designed the game to be as much of a payoff as possible. It's such an incredible experience. So I'm looking forward to seeing how people react to it. I know they're going to love it, and I really do think it's going to be the best yet. And there's a lot of other games, a lot of other projects I'm involved in that are coming out this year that some are kind of under wraps right now. We've got Generator Rex, which is a show for Cartoon Network that we're doing that is going to air in April, that I'm really excited about, because we get to play a very, very villainous bad guy. That's a lot of fun. And there's a lot of other projects, a lot of other video games that are coming out this year that they're going to announce that I think people will be pleasantly surprised with as well.
Awesome. Well, we hope to have you on the show in the future, and we really thank you taking the time out of your day.
I would love to. Thank you guys for having me.
No problem. And before we let you go, would you like to participate in a 91.8 The Fan tradition?
I would love to.
We were wondering if you could do a bump for us.
I would love to do a bump.
All right, awesome. If you have a pen or paper, you might need it, but it's not that long, so hopefully it'll be okay. Could you please say, my name is, I do this, and you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan.
Absolutely. You ready?
Yep.
This is Troy Baker. I'm the voice of Snow Villiers in the new Final Fantasy 13, and you are tuned in to 91.8 The Fan.
Thank you so much. That was perfect. No bloopers or anything.
You're very, very welcome. Thank you so much, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, awesome. Hopefully we can do something bigger in the future. We really appreciate you taking the time. I know you must be swamped.
Thank you as well. Cheers.
Nice to meet you. Bye-bye.